So first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who has come out today. I am so honored to be here. I am Jocelyn DeSisto. I'm the founder of Lot28. We're a contemporary jewelry company based in Brooklyn. We make jewelry inspired by microbiology and rooted in the joy of discovery. I launched my company back in 2018, and it's been about like a year and a half since we started, and the real cornerstone of Lot28 has become the community that surrounds us. So starting Lot28, I came out of college and was really met with this kind of like intense anxiety and like questioning of how do I combine the drive that I feel as an artist and a designer, and then like the impact that I want to have as a contributing member of society. And I really went through tons of variation of like, how does a designer take a material and make it totally their own, but also create community around that? Like, it's great to be an artist or a designer, but then like, what impact are you making beyond that? So what it really came down to was, how do we activate community? We launched at New York Jewelry Week in 2018, and it was this incredible moment where I finally was able to formulate these designs and visions and share them with our community. It was this like pivotal moment where we brought together the community in New York, and so to be here tonight is this really like pivotal moment of turning. And so the first collection that we launched with was our coral bleaching line. And so with each piece that we make, there is a small information or like fact embedded in it, and it becomes this story about coral bleaching that our wearers are encouraged to share with the community. And it's became this idea of like, how do you, especially in fashion, think about like when you get a compliment, what do you, as the wearer, want to share and promote? Like, is it just, oh, thank you, like, I feel great and I feel confident? Or is there more action to that? Like, how do you activate a further conversation? So with each point that we interact with our consumer and our community, it becomes about sharing a further story about our impact on the environment and how we can all work together as a greater whole to create further impact. So launching the line was really great, and we launched at Jewelry Week, and it was great, but I felt like there was more that we could do. I felt like there was this missing piece between our real differentiator of like, who were we as a jewelry company, but then what set us apart. So today it's super important for brands to be active on social media and communicate on both a digital platform, but then also in the real world. But when I launched, I felt like there was this disconnect between what was being described digitally and then what was actually happening in the real world with our community. So I wanted to create a way to bridge the two. So that started our Find Lot 28 interactive series, which is a interactive pop-up where we go to globally recognized events like New York Jewelry Week or Women in 3D Printing or Working with Formlabs or Art Basel, and do these small pop-ups that it becomes a fusion of interactive installation and then jewelry. And so we create these modular pods and then promote a social media story where we'll announce which city we're going to be in, and then invite our community that's located in that area to come out and really like come together for this interactive pop-up. And it almost becomes a networking event where the first one that we did was at Art Basel, and we had like kind of tested a couple of them at New York Jewelry Week, and it was this really cool moment where we were doing a pop-up in Miami, and then someone was wearing a piece from New York Jewelry Week, and I was like standing to the side and didn't let them know that I was the designer behind it, because I kind of wanted to watch like how the interaction was going. But they were like, wait, you have one of those, but it's a different form, like where did you get it? And then it was this sharing interaction of two people who had been at different events that were now connected together and sharing that experience. And so that kind of became like how the like snowball effect for Lot 28 started, and we continue to share our story on social media, and that's how I got connected with Christina and Formlabs, and it kind of became this thing where it's what we're known for now. But the next really like big pivotal moment for Lot 28 was when we did our pop-up series at Munich Jewelry Week, and it was the first time that we were doing the pop-up on another continent, and so I was a little nervous, and there was like a lot of traveling that happened in between of like figuring out the logistics of everything, but we were really testing the waters to see like how far our reach for community was, and we did it for the first couple days, and it went well, but it wasn't until I was feeling really nervous towards the end that I was like, you know what, I think we should go to this panel with a bunch of collaborators and founders from other jewelry weeks around the world. And I was sitting there in the audience, and Bella Nyman, who's the founder of New York Jewelry Week, she goes, has anyone else exhibited at other jewelry weeks around the world? And I was like really nervous because there was all of these mentors that I look up to that were just sitting in the audience with me, and I like kind of raised my hand, and she's like, great, talk about it. And I was kind of had this like, oh my God moment. And I was like, well, I do these like pop-up installations and everything. And she interrupts me and she goes, oh my God, you're that girl. Like, we've been looking for you. And I was like, what? And she was like, I have one of your pieces. And she was like, please come up and talk to me at the end. And it turned out that 3 people in the audience actually had interacted with different pop-ups that we had done. And so it became this like great fusion. And it led to Formlabs discovering us on Instagram and our social promotions and inviting us to come to their Maker Summit in Boston. And then that's how I connected with Christina. And it just further goes to prove like how you don't know what you don't know until you try. The biggest thing was when I started doing these pop-ups, I was met with extreme kind of like skepticism. I was in a accelerator program at Savannah College of Art and Design, and I came up with this idea and pitched it to our investor board, and they were kind of like, a jewelry company doesn't do that. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're a jewelry company, you're not supposed to do installations. Like, that's great that you want to travel and everything, but like, we don't think it's necessary. And so it fueled this fire in me where I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong. And from doing that, once they started to see the snowball effect of how we were gaining community and like going out and making it uncomfortable and like kind of testing that water of the unknown, they were like, oh my gosh, like we were wrong. Like, you should totally keep doing this. And from that, we have just continued to push the boundaries of what is expected from our space and how do you continue to activate your community and engage with people and ask, like, what are they interested in, what events connect them, and continuing to push that is really how you, like, make headway and gain, like, new experiences and build your community. So I'm so honored to be here today. I encourage all of you to go out and make a new friend. You never know where a new opportunity is going to lead. Thank you so, so much. We are Lot 28.